MMU lab. And they've been done for us, the renderings by Robotics, who we're working with on the end effective tool. And as you'll see, we've got ambitions for 6-axis, small-scale robots, some of them mobile, some of them based within different systems and different configurations. All of these robotic tools are intended for work with micro fashion design and manufacturing businesses. And our thoughts are that we want to reshore UK fashion manufacturing with this kind of small-scale robotic technology. So currently, in a UK context, really good international level manufacturing is not possible. You know, at a scale and at a kind of level that is internationally acceptable. So what we're hoping is that we can set up this lab and start doing some research in this area. So this again is Homo providing us with some renderings, and these all went into our application to AHRC. We're also hoping to work with Bennett Associates architects, and they have a really strong background in sustainability and also in setting up and delivering robotics labs. So the occupancy of our lab initially is going to be tiny. It will be maximum 7 people. So we'll have technicians, we'll have fashion designers, but one of the key ideas that we want to develop with the lab space is to work in collaboration. So we're hoping to set up a researcher in residence scheme so that we can work with micro fashion designer manufacturer businesses. So this will be our lab space here, and this is a courtyard space currently at MFI, and in the middle there's a temporary building, and we're going to build a new building in the middle of the courtyard space, which will house the researchers in residence. It will house our work in progress exhibitions. The whole point of what we want to do at MFI is to be visible in terms of robotics. And so this is an internal corridor here, and what we want to do is have a long viewing window so that any visitors that come into our buildings can see exactly what we're doing. And then this space, right in the middle of the courtyard, is visible from the whole of the fashion building at MFI, so that we're really, really visible and we're able to be seen doing our research. We think that that's really, really important. So Bennett Associates designed the Bayes Centre, the Bayes Robotics Centre in Edinburgh. And they designed the Norton factory, which is here. They designed the Jaguar Studios, so they have fantastic background in supporting really creative and sustainable design solutions for businesses. So our vision: micro-scale, digitised fashion industry in which fashion designer manufacturers collaborate with robotic technologies. The collaboration bit is quite difficult, so cobotic technologies currently have some issues, and so the health and safety around all of this designing with robotics is going to be quite complex. We're not going to be able to allow students to work with us for some time into the future, but that is our aim. So ultimately we'd like to see students working in our lab spaces. So we want to modernise the UK fashion industry. Can the UK become a world leader in fabrication with robotics and cobotic technologies? We'd like to think so, but it needs the industry, and it needs the fashion and textiles industries in particular, to be really brave. We'd like to see reshoring, and we think that shipping stuff all the way around the world and all of the imports that we make into the UK, too cheap clothing, we don't even deal with our own waste, we ship it all back overseas for somebody else to deal with. That's not on. So we need to take responsibility for our own manufacturing in the UK context. So we're hoping that by reshoring production, it will help UK businesses, micros, SMEs, to retain their own IP as well. We want to see carbon neutral manufacturing in the UK. I've actually got the date wrong, and I think that Greater Manchester Combined Authority have pushed back on their 2030 target, and I think it's now 2037. Obviously, that's still quite soon, and it's probably not possible, but I like the ambition. And then we want to develop circular economic business models, multiple business models, multiple business cases. And this is what we need central government to engage with. So we need to make a roadmap, and we need to make the business case very, very strongly. Fashion is still regarded as something that women do, a bit kind of fluffy around the outside, not something to be taken seriously. It's a really serious business. Fashion makes a huge contribution to GDP in this country, and we could be doing much more of our own manufacturing. So, there is an opportunity. Worldwide geopolitics, quite an uncomfortable thing to be talking about currently, but we do think that there is an opportunity, and we think that the micro businesses that we've been talking to and doing research with agree with us that this current situation is providing us with an opportunity. So, access to automation, solved, on the way to being solved, possibly. Significantly improved robotic adoption in the UK. So we have some of the lowest robotic adoption in the UK compared to Europe, certainly, probably compared to the rest of the world. And we're really interested in job creation and reskilling. So working with robots is going to demand a massive amount of reskilling of a workforce. And we think that the workforce is here. We know that in the fashion and textiles industries there's an ageing workforce and skills aren't being passed on. Young people don't want to engage with the UK fashion manufacturing industry, and it's because it's not seen as interesting and forward-looking. Bring on the robotics. Let's see how many people we can bring into the industry if we actually engage them in new technologies. So we're interested in innovation in garment assembly and design for disassembly. This is going to be really important. So if you're dealing with a really high value product, which we think we should be, so high value, low volume, then we can design for disassembly to take things apart and remake them. Development of a world-class fashion technologies research capability for non-stable materials. So the problem with textiles is they're floppy. So how do we use robotics to engage with non-stable materials? Building visibility and resilience, and then we want to develop a new methodology that takes on fashion practice as a way of thinking, and engineering, and human factors research. And so we're really in the space of trying to design a new methodology. And then the development of environmentally sustainable, flexible manufacturing tools as an alternative to costly mono solutions. Huge regional opportunity. So I don't know how many of you are aware of Amphi, for instance, which is coming. Apparently it's a brownfield site currently, but lots and lots of people putting money into that site, lots of expertise happening, and engagement with robotic technologies. So that's what Amphi is all about. University of Salford has a new NERIC building, which is currently in development, where they will house, again, lots and lots of robotics. Manchester Fashion Institute, fingers crossed for Friday. And then the AMRC in Sheffield, who we're hoping to go and visit and draw into our manufacturing hub, and they're part of the high-value manufacturing catapult. And we have engagement with NTC from Coventry as part of our network. So lots of new products and services possible. We want a designer in residence program, so we're very, very keen to work with lots of micro and SME businesses in supporting them into robotic technologies. Currently, very few designers have any idea how robots can support their businesses, and we want to help to reveal to them how that's going to be possible. So our design and residence program, and then our launch strategy. So with everything crossed, we may be able to launch in 2022. It might take us a little bit longer to do that, but we are doing bits of work and finding pockets of funding. We will be developing the researcher in residence program. On the table, there is also the potential through AHRC to fund a national centre for fashion robotics and engineering technologies. That will be quite some time in the future, but we're really hoping that NFI can join in with that. Anyway, thank you very much. No questions at all. I've killed me.
Okay, let me warm up a little bit. So I know Suzanne is doing a joint proposal with the European. We are targeting on develop some project as an extension of Adidas Speed Factory.
That's right.
Okay, so my question somehow related to that. How do we envision this kind of national center of fashion robotics, and how this kind of thing is going to further push in? I know that we know that the Adidas Speed Factory project is kind of terminated, right? So how this is related and how this will be helping further pushing the technology development along this line.
Well, so I think Adidas Speed Factory is not visible anymore, but you can bet that Adidas is doing all sorts of things behind the scenes, and we have colleagues who are, all developing things with Adidas as we speak very quickly. So I think that a lot of the development in fashion manufacturing is actually hidden, and for reasons of IP and all sorts of other reasons. But what we hope to do is be slightly more open to the things that we're developing, and to do it in collaboration with other researchers, with other research groups, and with these micro businesses. Hope that answers the question.
Do you ever see the combination of all three of your technologies into one big production line where the user would scan themselves, add a pattern, author AI, and then it gets onto a robot, and then it gets made?
Potentially. I think one of the problems with fashion manufacturing in particular is that rather than producing identikit things, fashion calls for agility, because built into an idea of fashion is change. And so what we do need is potential for agile technologies to be involved in the process. So currently there are systems that will produce jeans when no human is actually involved in the process at all, and t-shirts. So that technology already exists. I think we're in a slightly different space, but I do agree that I think it's very interesting to lock in different technologies. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Into our next speaker. So our next speaker is Rachel Cox. She's a PhD student from our material science department. And Rachel is going to introduce something about how to keeping human in the loop, technology things.
Thank you. I'm a second year PhD student at the University of Manchester, and basically today I'm kind of focusing on the groundwork aspect of Industry 5, which I think is something that I hope doesn't get forgotten about, but I think there's a lot of emphasis on the customisation. Hopefully this is something that's a bit different. So essentially this presentation today is about kind of, as it describes there, the impact of technology on garment workers. So just a brief introduction today. Essentially I'm going to sort of talk a bit about my research project, my PhD project, but at the same time talk about how Industry 5 is relevant and how it's also informing some of the research that we're doing in the project.